Hello students, welcome to English Classroom. I'm Dr. Suchitra Singh, Assistant Professor of English, VGDC, Vidyanagar. Today we'll learn conditionals prescribed for semester 4 by Osmania University for BA, BCom, BSc and BBA. So let's start with our lesson on conditionals, right? Let's look at this picture and can you guess what this boy is thinking about? Can you guess what this boy is thinking looking at these fruits on the tree? Well, maybe he's thinking, if I were tall, I could have plucked these fruits, right? If I were tall, I could have plucked these fruits. Or let us look at this picture. What is she thinking? The one in this picture is Aishwarya Rai on a red carpet, right? So what is she thinking? Maybe she's thinking, if I were as beautiful as Aishwarya Rai, I would have been walking on the red carpet now, right? So the possibility, right? Let us look at this picture. Well, if the stock market is good today, I will invest, or I would have invested so much, or I will invest so much in the shares, right? Now, what is common in these three pictures? What is it that is common in these three pictures? The common thing that we have said in these three pictures is that the if condition. That is, if I were tall, I would have plucked these fruits, right? Or if I were as beautiful as Aishwarya Rai, I would have been walking on the red carpet now. Or if the stock market is good, if the shares are good, value of shares, then I will invest, or I would have invest, right? So in all these, we are using the if condition, right? Similarly, in our everyday life, we use such if condition sentences to talk about something that might have happened in the past, or that will happen now, or that is going to happen in the future. So today our class is on if conditions, right? So we will go ahead with that if conditions. Now, the next question is, why should we learn these if condition sentences? Now, the objective is that the students will learn the usage of conditions, right? They will distinguish between the various types of real and unreal conditional sentences. The students will be able to identify the main functions of real and unreal conditional sentences, and they will learn to use conditions in their written and spoken language. So what's our objective? Our objective is to help you to learn the usage of conditions, identify the real and unreal conditions, and also learn how to make use of these conditions in your written and spoken language, because if conditions is a part of our written and spoken language, right? So shall we get started with our lesson, with our grammar on conditionals? Right. Let's get started. Let's look at these examples that are there. Now look at this example. If it rains, the lawn gets wet. Now what is the if condition? When will the lawn get wet? If it rains, right? So we talk such sentences, right? If it rains, many a times, I would always think that if I have dried my clothes outside and I've gone out, if it rains, my clothes will get wet, right? So that is one condition that we always talk about. You will be informed if the meeting is confirmed. Now, all of you are saying, when will the colleges be open? So you will be informed if the colleges are going to reopen, right? If the date is fixed, you will be informed, right? So the next sentence, you see, if I were the Prime Minister of India, I would make you my secretary. Sometimes we say, if I were this, I would have done that, I would have done this, right? So such sentences also we use in our daily language, right? Or you could have done it if you had tried harder, right? You could have done it if you had tried harder. So this also you could do, right? Or look at the last sentence. If you had worked harder in the college, you would have a better job now. So what is common in all these sentences is that there is a if condition. If this condition was done, this condition will take place, right? So with these examples, we understand, we notice that sentences have two clauses, right? Say, look at this. If it rains is one clause, the lawn gets wet is another clause, right? Or if I were the Prime Minister of India is one clause, I would make you my secretary is another clause, right? Similarly, look at this. If you had worked harder in the college is one clause, you would have a better job now is another clause, right? So what do we learn? That in the examples, we notice that the sentences have two clauses. That is, one is main clause and the other one is if clause. Look at this. If it rains, I'll stay at home. So what will you do? I'll stay at home is the main clause, and if it rains is the if clause, right? So the if clause are about what always happens, what could happen, what might have happened, and what we wish to happen, right? We always speak about this, right? So the if clause will tell you about what always will happen. Say, if it rains, the lawn will get wet, which is always that is going. What could happen? If it rains, I will stay at home. That could happen, right? Right? What might have happened? If it had rained, all that we had done would have got washed off. But it did not rain, right? And what we wish, I wish if it rains, then we'll have a holiday. We wish, right? So these are called conditional sentences because they state that something will happen if something else happens. So what it says? It states that something will happen if something else happens. That is, if it rains, I will stay at home. So if this condition happens, this is the result that is going to take place, right? So what do we understand? That conditionals have two clauses, one main clause and the other is a if clause, right? And the if clause is nothing but it is all about what always happens, what could happen, what might have happened, and what we wish would have happened, right? And so these are called conditional sentences because they state that something will happen if something else happens, right? A beautiful example is that if it rains is a condition, the result is that I'll stay at home, right? Now, so with this, what we come to understand is that conditionals are sometimes called as if condition or if clause. What are conditionals called? They are also called as if condition or if clause. They describe the result of something that might happen in the present or future or might have happened but didn't happen in the past. What is it that they describe? They describe the result of something that might happen in the present, now, or in the future, or might have happened in the past but didn't happen. So they are made using different English verb tense. So how are the conditional sentences made? Using different English verb tense. So what do we understand? That conditionals have two clauses, one main clause and one if clause. And they are sometimes called as if condition or if clauses, right? And they describe the result of something that might happen in the present or future, or might have happened but didn't in the past. They are made using different English verb tenses, right? Now, note that each sentence in the example, the possibility of conditions varies. Now, whatever examples I've given in the beginning here, all these sentences, the possibility varies, right? If it rains, the lawn gets wet varies. You will be informed if the meeting is confirmed, right? So the possibility varies, right? So, for example, let us look at this. If it rains, the lawn gets wet. Or if we heat ice, it melts. Now, this sentence states that what will always happen if something happens. That is, always if it rains, the lawn will get wet, right? Or if we always heat ice, definitely it will melt, right? Sometimes it may or sometimes it may not. It's not like that. It is going to happen, right? So this is one type. Then look at this sentence. You will be informed if the meeting is confirmed. You will be informed if the meeting is confirmed. Or if it rains, there will be a lot of traffic, right? Now, these sentences, right? These sentences, not this, actually they are these sentences, states that something will happen if a certain condition is fulfilled, and the condition is not something that is improbable or impossible. Something will happen, right? If a certain condition is fulfilled. That is, if the meeting is confirmed, you will be informed. This is not something that we cannot do. We can do, right? If it rains, there is a probability that there will be traffic, right? So probability is there. I may or I may not inform, or the traffic may or may not be there. But then we know that if this will happen, okay, I will inform you. Or if this will happen, most of the time there is traffic on the road. So these sentences states that something will happen if a certain condition is fulfilled, and the condition is not something that is improbable or impossible, right? So this is one type of sentences that if sentences that we'll use. Look at this sentence. If I were the Prime Minister of India, I would make you my secretary. If I were the Prime Minister of India, I would make you my secretary. If I won the lottery, I would travel around the world. Now, what is common in both these sentences? Right? In these sentences, if is unreal. It is clear. Now look at the first one. It is clear that the speaker is not the Prime Minister, and therefore he is doing something, his doing something else is almost impossible. Now, even in the second sentence, it is clear that he has not won the lottery. So his traveling around the world is something that is impossible, right? So these two examples are very unreal. It's clear that the speaker is not the Prime Minister, and therefore is doing something else is almost impossible, right? Now, look at this sentence. You could have done it if you had tried hard. The next sentence is, you could have done it if you had tried hard. This sentence states the probable result of an imaginary condition. You could have done it. It's imaginary condition. You could have done it if you had tried. The possibility of that happening is nil now because it refers to a time in the past, right? You could have done it if you had tried, but you did not try and it did not take place, and the possibility of it happening is nil because it is an action that has taken place in the past, right? So this is one type. Now look at the other type of sentence. If you had worked harder in college, you would have a better job now. Now this is something that if you had done something in the past, the result would have been now. If you had worked harder in the college, you would have a better job now. You did not work hard. You have failed. Percentages are not good. So that is the reason you are not having a good job now. So in this sentence, the time is in the past and the situation is continuing in the present. Right? The result of what you did not do or do in the past, that result is continuing in the present. Right? So like this, we frame different sentences, right? So all these examples that we have done in the beginning of the class show that if conditions are of different types. On the basis of degree of possibility, conditionals are divided into different types, right? On the basis of the degree of possibility, conditionals are divided into different types. What are they? They are zero conditional, first conditional, second conditional, third conditional, and mixed conditional. We all use these conditionals in our daily language, right? Or even in our written language. So, what are the different types of conditionals? Zero conditional, first conditional, second conditional, third conditional, and mixed conditional. Now let us see how we can go about with each condition, right? So let's learn that. Now, first we'll go ahead with zero condition. Now look at this in this image. If I'm late for school, my teacher gets angry. Will this happen every time? Yes, of course. A teacher will definitely get angry if you do not have the discipline of coming to college on time. Yes or no? Right? So, with this example, we learn that zero condition is to talk about general truths and things that are always true. Very rare that a teacher will not get angry. Every teacher would respect discipline, expect some discipline in a student, and would not entertain students to come late to the class, right? So this is used, zero conditional is used to talk about general truths and things that are always true. That is, in zero conditional sentence, if can be replaced with when without changing the meaning. Now, one of the other condition of zero conditionals is that first condition is that it will talk about general truths and things that are always true, right? The second condition is that it can be replaced with when without changing the meaning. For example, look at this sentence. The lawn gets wet if it rains. We can write this same as the lawn gets wet when it rains. The meaning is same. Only thing is we are replacing if with when, right? So this is all about our zero conditionals, right? It is used to talk about general truth and things that are always true. Let us do some examples of zero conditionals. Look at this picture. What does it say? He is late and he is missing the bus, right? He is late and his bus has left. So what is the conditional over here? If I'm late, I will miss the bus. Is this a fact or not? It is a fact. Every time if you be late, you will definitely miss the bus, right? And what will happen? If I'm late to school after missing the bus, my teacher will get angry. Is this a truth or not? Most of the time, it is always happens that the teachers get angry if you do not maintain your discipline, right? So these are good examples to show that zero conditions are nothing but it is used to talk about general truth and things that are always true. Is it clear? So you have no doubt with zero conditions. So let's move on to first condition. First conditional is used to talk about real and possible situations. Zero condition is used to talk about facts. If I heat the ice, it will melt. It's a fact. First condition is used to talk about real and possible situations. What can happen if this will happen, right? It refers to a situation that is real and a possible condition and its probable result, something that can happen. So in this sentences, the if clause is in simple sentence and the main clause is in simple future sentence. For example, let us understand this. If the meeting is confirmed, you will be informed. If the meeting is confirmed, you will be informed. If the meeting is confirmed is what? It is simple sentence, right? And then what are you doing over here? You will be informed, simple future. What will happen? If this will happen, the other action will take place in future. So what is first conditional? It is used to talk about real and possible situations, right? And it refers to a situation that is real and a possible condition and its probable result. And what do? They use simple sentences, right, in the main clause and simple future in the if clause. Sorry, simple sentences in the if clause and simple future in the main clause, right? For example, if the meeting is confirmed is in simple sentence and you will be informed is in simple future. Now, some more examples of first conditional. If I go to Delhi, I will meet the Prime Minister, right? If this condition is fulfilled, then there is a probability of this condition getting fulfilled. If I go to Charminar, I will buy bangles, right? If this probability, if condition is fulfilled, then definitely I will do this, right? So these are all first conditionals. Now, what is second conditional? Second conditional is used to refer to a situation that is unreal or impossible. Now, what is first conditional? That is real and possible. Second condition is just the opposite of first condition, that is unreal or impossible. The sentences are not based on fact and they refer to a hypothetical condition, right? They refer to a hypothetical condition and its probable result. In these sentences, the if clause uses the simple past and the main clause uses would plus infinitive. What do? In these conditions, the if clause uses the simple past and the main clause uses the would plus infinitive. Now let us understand this with an example. If I were the Prime Minister of India, I would make you my secretary. What's the sentence? If I were the Prime Minister of India, I would make you my secretary. That is, if I were the Prime Minister of India is in simple past tense and I would make you my secretary is would plus infinitive. Now note that it is not important which clause is coming first. I can also say I would make you my secretary if I were the prime minister, right? So we can say it either ways. So second conditional refers to a situation that is unreal or impossible. Let us do some more examples to understand second condition. If I were a bird, I would fly high. Now, I will never be a bird. This is something that is unreal, right? So, if I were a bird, I would fly high. Or, if I won the lottery, I would buy a big house. You know that you did not win. You're just thinking if I had won the lottery. Something that can never happen, that never happened also, right? So these are some examples of second conditionals. Now we will learn about third conditional. Now what is third conditional? Third conditional sentences refer to the past and describe things that didn't happen in the past. Something we will say, Array, I wish I had done this. If I had done like this would have happened, right? We all speak in our language. If only I went early, I wouldn't have missed the train, right? We tell that. So this is the third conditional where it refers to the past and describe things that didn't happen, right? They refer to an imaginary past condition which did not take place and its probable result, right? So in the third conditional sentences, the if clause uses the past perfect and the main clause uses the present perfect condition, right? What do? The if clause uses the past perfect and the main clause uses the present perfect. Let us understand this with a beautiful example. If you had tried, you could have done it. If you had tried is in past perfect, you could have done it is in present perfect condition. Something that is imaginary, which you have not done, right? So third conditional sentences refer to the past and describe things that did not happen. They are used to refer to an imaginary past condition and its probable past result, right? So let us understand this with some more examples. Now look at this. It often happens that when you fail, your parents tell you, if you had worked harder, you would have passed your exam. Something which you have not done in the past, right? If you had worked harder, you would have passed your exam. Or, if I had known you were coming, I would have baked a cake. Now, but I did not know that you were coming, so I did not bake a cake. So something in the past that could have happened and now it is not possible because the action is over, right? So in third conditionals, what is it that you are doing? In third conditionals, you're talking about a sentence that refers to the past and describe things that did not happen, right? So this is our third condition. Now we also should know that in type 3 conditional sentences, you can use modals in the main clause. You can use modals in the main clause instead of would to express the degree of certainty, permission, or a recommendation about the outcome, right? So you can use modals to explain. For example, if I had worked harder, I might have passed the exam, right? What you can do? If I had worked harder, I might have passed the exam. Or you could have been on time if you had caught the bus. If he called you, you could go, right? If you bought my school supplies for me, I might be able to go to the park. So what are we observing in these sentences is that you can use your modals, right? And instead of would to, we can use the, right? Now, let us go to our next sentence that is talking about mixed conditionals. Now, what are mixed conditionals? Now, in these sentences, the time in the if clause is not same as the time in the main clause. Now, what is the main difference here? The time in the if clause is not the same as the time in the main clause. In the sentence, the if clause uses past perfect and the main clause uses would, could, might plus infinitive. And they refer to an unreal past condition and its probable result now. For example, if you had worked harder in college, now you would have a better job now. Now, this having a better job now is not possible because of the unreal past, which has not happened in the past, right? So if you had worked harder in the college is past perfect, you would have a better job now is would plus could plus might or plus infinitive value. So what are mixed conditionals? In this, one sentence will be in the past time and one sentence will be in the present, right? So the sentences, the time, right, in the if clause is not the same as the time in the main clause. They refer to an unreal past condition and its probable result in the present, right? So if you had worked harder in the college, you would have a better job now, right? Now let us do some more examples. Like if we had taken the car, we wouldn't be late. That means the past he did not do this and that is why they are late now, right? If we had taken the car, we wouldn't be late, right? Now look at this other sentence. If the students had more time, they would have finished their work yesterday. That means the students do not have more time, so they did not finish their work yesterday. So one is talking about the past and one will talk about the present, right? So till now they have not finished it. So that is what is this is talking about. So what are mixed conditionals? Mixed conditionals refer to a time in the past and the result of it that is continuing in the present, right? Now let us sum up all these four conditions. The first one is zero conditional. And what is the condition? That is, if you stand in the rain, if you stand in the rain, the result is you get wet, which is very true. Or if you heat ice, what is the result? It melts. So in zero condition, the if condition clause will be in simple present tense and the result will be in present simple, both simple present tense. So both the condition and the result will be in simple present tense. For example, if you stand in the rain, you get wet. If you heat ice, it melts. Next is first conditional. If it rains, we will cancel the trip. If you study, you will pass the exam. That is, what if you had done this, if the condition is fulfilled, right? What will be the result in future is what it is saying, right? So possible situation in the future, predicting a likely result in the future if the condition happens. Definitely, if we stand in the rain, if I stand in the rain in future, I will get wet. Or if I study in future, I will pass the exam, right? So one, the if clause is in present tense and the result will be in will or won't plus verb form, right? Now what is second conditionals? If I won the lottery, I would travel a lot. if I won the lottery is a past act. I would travel a lot. Would plus verb, which you would have done. If they sold their house, they would be rich. So this is something that is hypothetical, right? It is hypothetical or unlikely situations, unreal or improbable situations with now or in the future. So that is our second conditional. Then what is our third conditional? For example, if you had studied, you would have passed the exam. This is about something that if had happened in the past, what would be the result? Right? If you had studied, you would have passed the exam. If I hadn't been sick, I would have gone to your party. So something that you would have done if that would have happened, which will now not happen. Right? So the person is imagining a different past imaginary situation that did not happen in the past. So this is about our third conditional. And what is our mixed conditional? Our mixed conditional is about where the if clause will be in one time and the present condition will be in one time. The past if condition will carry on in the present result condition. For example, if I had listened to your advice, which you gave me in the past, I wouldn't be in the mess that I am right now, right? If he had checked the map, he wouldn't be lost right now. If I had gone to university, I would be a doctor right now, right? So what I did not do in the past, the result that would have happened in the present. So it is a mixed condition where the time is different in two clause. So this is all we have learned. Now let us try to do some exercises and see if we have understood these conditional sentences. Now here they have given some sentences and they're asking us to make zero and first conditional sentences. So take your books, take your pen, take down and try to do it, and then we will see, we'll check with the answers. Now what they have given, people eat too many sweets, they become fat. People eat too many sweets, they become fat. Now you make it into a zero conditional or first conditional, whichever you can make it, right? Similarly, second one, you smoke, you get cancer. You smoke, you get cancer. Third one, children play outdoors, they have healthy bodies. Children play outdoors, they have healthy bodies. Then water freeze it, B form, very cold. Water freeze it, B form, very cold. What is B form? Either it should be is, am, are, was, were, depending on your sentence, right? Next one is everyone feel happy, the weather, B form, good. Everyone feel happy, the weather, B form, good. Clear? Now do it and we'll check with our answers. Now look at this. People eat too many sweets, they become fat. The if condition is if people eat too many sweets, they become fat, right? So something that will happen, right? You smoke, you get cancer. The answer is if you smoke, you get cancer, right? Now look at this. If children play outdoors, they have healthy bodies. If children play outdoors, they have healthy bodies. Water freeze it and B form, very cold. So see, water freezes if it, for B form we have used is. If it is very cold, something that happens, right? Then look at this. Everyone feel happy, the weather, be form good. Everyone feels happy if the weather, for the be form I've used, is good, right? Now let us look at this. There are, again he has given some words in the blanks. With the help of that, he's asking us to make zero and first conditional sentence. So I dash early if you dash want. If they dash invited, they dash the meeting. She dash in the city if she dash a job. If he dash this exam, he dash a promotion. If I dash a new dress, if I dash have extra money. So how are we going to frame? With the help of these words in the brackets, we should make the answers. Now let us check. I will come early if you want. If they are invited, they will attend the meeting. She will stay in the city if she finds a job, right? If he passes this exam, he will get a promotion. I will buy a new dress if I have extra money, right? So these are our answers. Now, similarly, they have again given us some blanks and asking us to make second, third or mixed conditions. The sentences are, if it dash an international award, the book dash in thousands. We dash on time if you dash the right directions. I dash the school bag if I dash the education minister. If she dash well, she dash all the questions. If he dash wisely, he dash happily, right? So let us check the answers. If it won an international award, the book would sell in thousands. We would have arrived on time if you had given the right directions. I would ban the school bag if I were the education minister. If she had prepared well, she would have answered all the questions, right? If he had invested wisely, he would be living happily. So this is how we frame our sentences. Similarly, see, he has given us some more blanks over here and asked us to fill. Let us see what the answers are. Now look at this. If he hadn't driven he has given. So if he hadn't driven so rashly, the accident wouldn't have happened. This is our third condition. If wishes were horses, beggars would ride. Second condition. If he had checked the map, he wouldn't be lost, right? You wouldn't have found the book if you had looked carefully. I would have been happy to help you if I was not in the middle of another meeting. So see how we made third conditional, second conditional, mixed conditional, third conditional and mixed conditional sentences. So I hope you have understood. So what are conditionals? Right? What are conditionals? Let us just brush up what are conditionals. Right? So what are conditionals? Conditionals are nothing but that they have a main clause and the if clause. And the if clause are all about what always happens, what could happen, and what might happen, right? And what we wish would happen. So they are called as conditionals because they state that something will happen if something else happen. So what are the different types of conditions we have? We have zero condition, first condition, second condition, third condition, and mixed condition. In zero condition, we talk about general truths and things that are always true. Like the lawn gets wet if it rains, right? Then we have first condition, which is used to talk about real and possible situations, right? Like if the meeting is confirmed, you will be informed. Then we have second condition, which is used to refer to a situation that is unreal or impossible, right? That is, if I were the Prime Minister of India, I would make you my secretary, which is impossible. You are not and you will not make, right? Then we have third conditional, which refers to the past and describe things that didn't happen. Example, if you had tried, you could have done it. But he did not try, it did not happen. Then we have mixed condition, where the time in the if clause is not the same as the time in the main clause. That is, If you had worked harder in college, you would have a better job. So I hope you have understood the conditions, the 4 kinds of conditions that we use. Do the exercises that are behind the text. And if you have any doubts, please ask in the group. Stay safe, right? And don't venture out. If at all you have to go out, wear your mask, maintain your distance. Thank you very much and stay safe. Thank you once again.